Hannah Foster observed the city through her office window, her brown eyes reflecting the lights of the buildings beginning to turn on at dusk. At 37, she was a respected journalist, known for her insightful eye and captivating smile. But that night, her expression was serious, worried. Her fingers drummed absent-mindedly on the desk as she reflected on her life. 12 years of marriage to Daniel, her 39-year-old husband, seemed to be slowly falling apart. Daniel was a dedicated civil engineer, always busy with important projects. In the beginning, Hannah admired his ambition and work ethic. Now she wondered if it had become a barrier between them. Hannah sighed, running a hand through her wavy brown hair. She remembered how they used to be, young, passionate, full of dreams. Now their lives seemed to move in parallel directions, rarely crossing. The nights were silent, the weekends empty. The emotional distance grew with each passing day. She picked up her phone, looking at the couple's profile picture. It was from a trip they took years ago, their faces radiant with happiness. Hannah felt a twinge of sadness. When was the last time they felt that way? She couldn't remember. The sound of a notification pulled her out of her thoughts. It was a message from her co-worker, James. He was considerate, funny, and always seemed to have time to listen to her. Hannah found herself smiling as she read his supportive words about an article she had recently published. For a moment she allowed herself to imagine what her life would be like with someone like James. Someone who valued her, who was present. The idea of leaving Daniel began to form in her mind, not for the first time in recent weeks. Hannah shook her head, trying to push those thoughts away. She loved Daniel, or at least she had loved him once. But was love enough when the connection seemed to have been lost? Deciding it was time to go home, Hannah began to pack her things. Then her phone rang, showing a voicemail notification. The number was unfamiliar, but something compelled her to listen. "Hannah, it's your father." The trembling and aged voice took her by surprise. It had been years since she had spoken to him, the result of a family misunderstanding that had left deep scars on both sides. I know it's been a long time, but I need to talk to you. I'm sick, Hannah. Very sick. The doctors say I don't have much time. Please, I would like to make amends before it's too late. The message ended, leaving Hannah in shock. She sat heavily in her chair, feeling as if the ground had disappeared beneath her feet. Memories of her childhood flooded her mind, happy moments mixed with heated arguments and harsh words. The drive home seemed longer than ever that night. Hannah drove on autopilot, her mind a storm of conflicting emotions. Anger, sadness, guilt, and a hint of hope swirled in her chest. Upon arriving home, she found Daniel sitting on the sofa, working on his laptop. He glanced up briefly, offering a tired smile. "Hi, love. Tough day?" Hannah hesitated for a moment before sitting next to him. "Daniel, we need to talk." He closed the laptop, turning to her with a look of concern. "What happened?" Hannah took a deep breath and began to recount her father's voicemail. As she spoke, the tears she had been holding back started to fall. To her surprise, Daniel wrapped her in his arms, offering a comfort she hadn't expected. "Oh, Hannah," he whispered, "I'm so sorry. I know how hard this must be for you." In that moment, Hannah saw a glimpse of the man she had fallen in love with. Compassionate, caring, present. She allowed herself to nestle into his embrace, feeling a connection she hadn't felt in a long time. "What do you want to do?" Daniel asked gently. Hannah hesitated. I think I need to see him. But I'm scared, Daniel. There's so much hurt, so much history. Daniel nodded, understanding. "I understand, but maybe this is an opportunity for healing, for both of us." Would you come with me?" Hannah asked, surprising herself with the request. Daniel's face lit up with a gentle smile. "Of course I would. I'll be by your side every step of the way." In the days that followed, Hannah and Daniel made arrangements for the trip. Hannah's office agreed to give her a few days off, and Daniel reorganized his project so he could accompany her. The prospect of the journey weighed on Hannah, but having Daniel by her side brought unexpected comfort. During the car ride, they talked more than they had in months. Hannah shared stories from her childhood, some happy, some painful. Daniel listened attentively, offering words of support and understanding. "You know," Daniel said at one point, "this makes me think of something I read once. Bear with each other and forgive one another if any of you has a grievance against someone. Forgive as the Lord forgave you." Hannah looked at him surprised. "That is beautiful. Where is it from?" "It's from the Bible," Daniel replied. "I'm not religious, you know, but I think there's wisdom in it, about forgiveness and understanding." The words echoed in Hannah's mind for the rest of the trip. Forgiveness. It was something she hadn't really considered, neither regarding her father nor her marriage. When they finally reached Hannah's hometown, anxiety gripped her. Daniel held her hand firmly as they approached her father's house. The house seemed smaller than Hannah remembered, the colours faded by time. She hesitated at the door, her heart pounding in her chest. Daniel gently squeezed her shoulder, a silent gesture of support. Hannah took a deep breath and rang the doorbell. Moments later, the door opened, revealing a man Hannah barely recognized. Her father, once an imposing figure in her life, now seemed frail and aged. His eyes, however, lit up at the sight of her. "Hannah," he said, his voice choked with emotion, "you came." The meeting was initially tense and uncomfortable. Hannah and her father sat in the living room, with Daniel quietly withdrawing to give them privacy. The silence hung between them, years of unspoken words lingering in the air. It was Hannah's father who finally broke the silence. "I'm sorry," he said, his voice trembling. "For everything. I was stubborn, proud. I lost so many precious years with you." Hannah felt tears forming in her eyes. "I'm sorry too, Dad. I should have tried harder." The words then began to flow, years of hurt and regrets being exposed. There were moments of tension, raised voices and tears shed. But there were also moments of understanding, of mutual acknowledgement of the mistakes made. Daniel, watching from afar, saw the transformation happening. He saw Hannah, the woman he loved, facing her past with courage and compassion. He felt deeply proud of her and at the same time ashamed for having distanced himself in recent years. As the days passed, Hannah and her father slowly rebuilt their relationship. They shared stories, laughed at old memories, and cried over lost opportunities. Daniel was always present, offering silent support and sometimes an outside perspective that helped ease tensions. One night, while her father was resting, Hannah found Daniel on the front porch looking at the stars. "Thank you," she said softly, joining him, "for being here with me, for being you." Daniel smiled, wrapping her in his arms. "Always, Hannah. I will always be here for you." In that moment, Hannah realized something important. The love that she and Daniel shared had not disappeared. It had merely been neglected. Like a plant that needs constant care, their relationship needed attention and dedication. Hannah's experience of reconciliation with her father had opened her eyes to the importance of forgiveness and communication. She saw how misunderstandings and pride could create seemingly insurmountable barriers, but also how honesty and the willingness to listen could break down those barriers. Inspired by this transformative experience, Hannah and Daniel began to re-examine their own lives and priorities. They had long conversations about their dreams, fears, and expectations. For the first time in years, they truly listened to and understood each other. "I think we got a little lost along the way," Daniel said one night as they walked hand in hand through Hannah's childhood neighborhood. "We got so focused on our careers, on building a life, that we forgot to live that life together." Hannah nodded, feeling a mix of sadness and hope. "Yes, but it's not too late, is it?" For us?" Daniel stopped, turning to face her. His eyes shone with determination and love. "It's never too late, Hannah. Not as long as we're willing to try." In the days that followed, they made plans. They decided to reduce their work hours, prioritizing time together. Hannah's father watched this renewal with a gentle smile. Although his health continued to decline, he seemed at peace, happy to see his daughter finding happiness and renewed love. "You two remind me of your mother and me when we were young," he said to Hannah one day, his voice weak but full of affection. "Take care of each other. Time passes too quickly to waste it on regrets." Those words stayed with Hannah, reinforcing her determination to make her marriage work. Weeks later, back in their daily lives, Hannah and Daniel worked hard to keep alive the connection they had rediscovered. It wasn't easy. Old habits were hard to break, and there were moments of frustration and doubt, but they persevered. Each shared dinner, each sincere conversation, each moment of renewed intimacy brought them closer. They relearned how to laugh together, to dream together, to face life's challenges as a united team. Hannah found that her work as a journalist gained new depth. Her personal experiences of reconciliation and renewal brought new insights to her stories, allowing her to connect more deeply with the people she wrote about. Daniel, in turn, found a new balance between his passion for engineering and his love for Hannah. He learned to delegate more at work, to trust his team, allowing himself to be more present at home. 3 months after their initial visit, Hannah received the news she feared. Her father had passed away peacefully in his sleep. The pain was deep, but Hannah found solace in knowing that they had made peace, that they had had the chance to reconnect and forgive. The funeral was a celebration of her father's life, filled with stories, laughter, and tears. Hannah, with Daniel firmly by her side, shared memories of her childhood and their recent reconciliation. Her words touched many hearts, inspiring others to seek healing in their own broken relationships. After the funeral, while they were sorting through her father's house, Hannah found an old box full of letters and photographs. Among them was a picture of her and Daniel on their wedding day, their faces radiant with happiness and hope. "Look at us," Hannah said, showing the photo to Daniel. "So young, so in love." Daniel hugged her from behind, looking at the photo over her shoulder. "We still are," he said softly. "Maybe even more now, because we know the value of what we have." "What if we renewed our vows?" she suggested, turning to face Daniel. "Not something big, just the two of us. A promise to keep choosing each other every day." Daniel's eyes lit up at the idea. "I would love that," he replied, kissing her softly. Weeks later, on a quiet beach at sunset, Hannah and Daniel renewed their wedding vows. There were no guests, just the two of them, the sound of the waves, and the sky painted in shades of orange and pink. "Hannah," Daniel began, his voice full of emotion, 12 years ago, I vowed to love and honor you every day of my life. Today, I renew that promise with a deeper understanding of what it truly means to love. I promise to be present, to listen, to grow with you. I promise to always remember that our love is a daily choice, one I make with joy and gratitude." Hannah, with tears in her eyes, replied, "Daniel, you have been my rock, my safe harbor. Even when I didn't realize it, I promise to cherish every moment we have together, to communicate openly and honestly, and to never take our love for granted. I promise to always remember the lessons we've learned about forgiveness, understanding, and the power of starting anew." As the sun set on the horizon, Hannah and Daniel sealed their renewed promises with a kiss. In that moment, they both felt a profound gratitude for the journey they had traveled, the challenges they had overcome, and the love they had rediscovered. That unexpected voice message had changed everything. What had begun as a contemplation of leaving her marriage had transformed into a journey of self-discovery, forgiveness, and renewed love. Hannah and Daniel knew that the road ahead wouldn't always be easy, but they were committed to facing it together, with open hearts and eyes set on the future. As they walked hand in hand along the beach under the starry sky, Hannah reflected on the words Daniel had shared during their trip. Bear with each other and forgive one another. She smiled, realizing that these words were not just advice, but a path to a life of true and lasting love. And so, with hearts full of hope and renewed love, Hannah and Daniel embarked on the next chapter of their lives together, stronger, wiser, and more united than ever. If you enjoyed the story, please leave a comment with a rating from 1 to 5 to show how much you liked it. Also, watch the video that is now appearing on your screen. See you soon.